issues. They affect us all. And so, tonight on Second Nature, we'll be recycling some old nature footage.
let's start the fucking show, eh?
You're going to jail.
I will never leave YouTube.
I don't give a fuck about the fucking law. I'll beat your ass.
Don't come to my channel again. You will be banned.
I'll beat your ass.
You officially entered the wet panty zone.
Folks, let's move it on over here. Thank you. Here we are. It's Thursday night. It's that time again. Number 263. Who'da thunk it, folks? We made it. We made it. Every choice that you've made in your life up until this point has brought you here. That's right, folks. Think about that. We're getting deep tonight. Tonight we got a whole lot of Vonhelton to get caught up on. I have no idea if the content's any good because I haven't watched any of it, but we got 2 or 3 good morning coffees or whatever the hell he calls them to watch through, to get through. So we'll do that together tonight. So it's a whole lot of Vonhelton is your thing. Tonight's the night. And what else we got? We got a little this, little that. Happy birthday, King Cobra. We'll touch on that. We got a little Rev. I don't know what's been going on with them lately. I think Shanny was live, but I haven't really been paying attention. If there's something I should be paying attention to, let me know. Maybe we can check that out. I heard something about a Nick Bravo blowjob video too, but unfortunately I didn't see a link to it yet. So anyways, yeah, so Vonhelton, we'll check a lot of that out. Tonight is the night, folks, and we are almost at the end of my journey through Christmas beers of past. We've been trying to drink these beers that people have given me over the Christmas holidays. This particular pack that I've been working my way through is not from the last Christmas, but the Christmas before. So it's time to do it. This is the last of that selection, folks. It has been quite a journey. Not bad for the most part. This stuff, I don't know if you can see this. I'm a little scared of this, folks. It's called Maudite. And as you can maybe see, there's like the devil with his arms crossed looking down at a canoe full of what appears to be French fur traders in the sky. I have no idea what any of this is supposed to mean. I'm a little bit scared. It's 8%. And what else is in it, I have no idea. Am I going to trip out? Am I going to see the devil in the sky? Like, you see this shit? That's like the sun. And then there's like a valley of clouds and mystery. And then there's like, yeah, just the devil. I don't know, folks. We're going to try it. We're going to see how it pours anyways. There's always a good indication, folks. The devil's in the details, as they say. Wish me luck. I don't know where this is going to take me tonight. Ooh, it's dark. It's a little darker than I thought with a light. Not a fan of the dark, but that's okay. It's okay. Ooh. It's got quite a stout. It's quite a... let's have a little sip. Let's see. It's got a little bite in the back of the throat. It's not bad, though. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. We can do this. It is not. It's not super... I'm just not a big fan of the super dark ales. I'm sorry, snobs. If you wear one of those goofy hats and refer to movies as cinema, you probably, I apologize. Anyways, there we are, folks. We are ready to go. And I got a very special selection from Darkside Becky, actually. We're going back in the archives. And we're going to kick off tonight with a very special musical segment that I'm sure you'll all enjoy. Please thumbs it up. Tell your friends. Get the kids out of bed. Whatever you got to do. Folks, this is it.
That's because the other Cyrex is the fake. I have mine with 2 X's. I own this name, bish.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because of this and this is the thing that I was revered. vision that was planted in my brain still remains. And then the sound of silence. And in the streets I walk alone. There are streets of cobblestone. Bring out the love of the history now. I find that color to the cold and town. And I understand when the flash of a neon lights is still the night. It does the sound of silence. And there's a naked light I saw. 10,000 people, maybe more. You got looking with the holy green. People hearing with the holy green. The shining song. Their voices never share. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. And the silence do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words and I'm fighting you. Take my arms and I'm alive with you. Now the silence, like silent raindrops fell. They're going away. Oh, silence. And the people bow and pray to the neon goddamn man. Now every time the river rains, you're not dancing on your rise the rain. Not dying when there's Valentine written on the subway halls. In the windows, whisper the of silence.
Right back after these messages.
Hey guys, it's me, Most Targeted Citizen. See in between that tree there, in between that pine tree? I'm trying to get right in the middle of it. That's a plane. You see the Kim trail coming off behind it? News has already hit. It's hitting the mainstream media now. These Kim trails are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The geo-manipulation, geoengineering that is. They're manipulating the weather. They're making our fields where they can't grow crops any longer. All the heavy metals. There's so many different reasons for what they're doing, and they all end up in the death of America, death of our farmlands, death to our food, death to the world. That's what all this ends up being. That's why the GMOs, like Monsanto, has patents on aluminum, what's the word? Aluminum resistant seeds. That's why normal seeds, like the old seeds my grandmother and grandpa used to grow, the antique seeds, the old seeds, there's a name for them and I can't think about what that name is. Heritage maybe, I don't know. The old seeds, they don't work anymore. Like last year, a bunch of seeds that I planted They didn't work, they didn't grow, they didn't do anything in the soil. In potting soil, they did fine, because it was a natural potting soil, but it wasn't the ground, regular earth. But they're dousing us down at night, as I've shown you for years, because it's too many people are talking about it now. So what do? They just do it at night, and then what we get these heavy, thick chemical fogs in the morning when we wake up. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm exhausted, I'm hurt, and I'm wore out. See ya.
We'll be right back after these messages.
America! I don't give a fuck! Yeah! YouTube.
Well, happy birthday to King Cobra. I'm officially 34 years old. I have a drink combo. It's a mixture of white cranberry peach ocean spray. This stuff is delicious. And I mixed it with a splash of black velvet. Maybe we'll call it a goth peach. Ew, a goth peach. Oh, so edgy. There's a good chance I might get my King Cobra JFS channel back. A couple of my friends and fans and YouTuber followers have been talking to content moderators on YouTube, and they even said that we admit we fucked up and that Josh has done nothing wrong except try to defend himself, and he's being bullied nonstop. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But it is King Cobra's birthday, and if you'd like to contribute to birthday celebrations, I got Cash App and PayPal. Although it'd be cooler if you could donate to the legacy I set up for Walt. And all that money's going straight to Angie, too. I don't want a single dime of it. No, I feel horrible about the way my trolls have treated Walt and his family over the years. And then they scared off their daughter from being my friend, and then on top of it, Walt dies, and the whole thing is just sad, so I'm not going to think about it. Now, I'm always going to care about Angie and her daughter, even if her daughter doesn't want nothing to do with me, because it's just the right thing to do. It's a great way to keep Walt's memory alive and show that, yeah, Josh is a solid dude and he actually cares. 1 second. Now, I'm not going to try anything with Walt's daughter, to be honest, because the whole thing is just super depressing. And I'm not going to talk about it on an endless loop because I don't want to do that. Like, I've said my piece. Like, Cobra, what do you want for your birthday? Other than the safety of my fans, my friends, and my family. Not necessarily in that order, but really can't ask for much. I don't want anything for my birthday. Except maybe to win the lottery. If I won the lottery, dude, things are going to change. That's all I could ask for. Because I could do so much good with that money. Well, I acknowledge that I don't care if I win the lottery because my life is pretty sweet, regardless. And there are people out there who need it more than I do. But if I built my clock tower dream house, people would shit bricks. How many bells you got in that clock tower? Enough. No, if I built my clock tower, Carillon, I'd have to put like 48 bells in it. 47 would be on a Grand Carillon. And the 48th bell would be swung via hemp rope. Bare minimum. And like bell towers are not clock towers and what, they're not cheap. Maybe I'll win the lottery. Who knows? Plus, what if I did win the lottery? That would make my trolls so fucking mad. They're like, yeah, I'm living the life you wish you had. If I get my King Cobra JFS channel back, I'm going to post the food hack that I made with Denny's the other day. That burger was fucking delicious. One of my YouTube fans has been talking with his buddies, and their buddies have been talking to a YouTube content moderator. And the YouTube content moderator who reviewed my case literally said, Josh has done nothing wrong. Okay, I can admit that YouTube fucked up. All he did was try to defend himself. And that would be a real birthday treat to get my King Cobra JFS channel back. I've worked 8 years after having several accounts deleted after being trolled mercilessly my entire life to build it to 112,000 plus subscribers. And I never received a play button. Like, oh, happy 34th birthday, you crazy autistic goth British bastard. Yeah. I also have a big old 40 on stack. So I don't got a whole lot of alcohol for the birthday, but it's better than nothing, so I honestly am not complaining. Even if I don't win the lottery, I'm very content with where I'm at living-wise. Like, oh yeah, happy 34th birthday to Cobra. A little late in the evening to be slamming cocktails, but I'm like, it's my birthday. What do you want from me? I hate my fucking birthdays. So I'm like, I want to do everything I can to keep a positive attitude and not be a bitter, drunken asshole about it. And the fact that a YouTube content moderator admitted that YouTube fucked up and that Josh gets bullied nonstop and that all he did was try to defend himself, there's a good chance I might get my King Cobra JFS channel back. And that's gonna royally fucking piss off my YouTube trolls. Ooh. They go out of their way to harass me non-fucking stop. Here's the best part of it, YouTube. I don't go out of my way to text my trolls. I don't care where they live. I don't care where they work. I don't give a fuck who they're dating. As long as you ain't a sick fuck, I don't give a fuck. You're wasting your life away trolling someone you're never gonna be like, and it's fucking sad. That my YouTube troll's obsession with me is more disgusting than my teeth. Oh look, Cobra just sent you a screenshot of his teeth. Go ahead and clip it and then use it to create more troll accounts. But what's going to happen when I win the lottery? Oh, it's going to be sweet. I'm going to donate $1 million to St. Jude's. I'm going to donate $1 million to Sir Elton John's AIDS Foundation. Start my own toy gun company. Start the Cobra's Cantina. The official bar. Now it's not just a song. Now it's a reality. And then when I build my clock tower dream house... Oh... Cobra talks a big game, but he actually did it. Oh. And what it's all about is manifesting your reality. Even if I don't win the lottery, just getting my King Cobra JFS channel back would be pretty sweet. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of people per se, I still want world peace. To end sickos. It's not that complicated. But anyways, YouTube... It is officially March 26th, Casper, Wyoming time, and I am officially 34 years old. Age is only a state of mind, man. You're only as old as you feel, and you're never too old to have a good time. It's like, Cobra, what are you doing for your birthday? Nothing special. I don't want to make a big deal about it. I'm sure my parents would take me out to eat for my birthday if I asked them to, but honestly I don't, because I feel like a burden to my family. My dad already bought me this sweet house, so I don't want to ask for much, you know. Because honestly, I'm nobody. I'm just another face in the crowd. I don't expect the world to kiss my ass because I'm the King Cobra JFS, Gothic King Cobra, whatever. Like, my shit stinks just like everyone else's. And people can't handle the fact that I'm real. I'm unapologetically myself, and I don't bullshit people, and that's what people fucking can't stand, is I'm not fake like everyone else. Like the other day when I was visiting a friend, and she had some friends of hers over, and one of her friends called me a fake bitch. And the one who called me a fake bitch is the fakest of them all, YouTube. I'm not going to name their name because I would make their life difficult. I'm above that and I'm better than that. But I will say this, the person who called me a fake bitch fucking talks mad shit about her friend and her friend's family behind her back, and then turns around and claims to still be her friend. And I'm like, see, that's just it. Boy, I'm just about out of fucking chase. Peach juice from Ocean Spray is exquisite, not a sponsor. Packed with all the good essentials, vitamin C and what have you. But I might do a birthday food hack if I get enough change in the old PayPal. So we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, stuffing chicken strips onto a bacon cheeseburger is certainly not my worst idea that I've had. Another year older and another year wiser. And that's the thing of it. My YouTube trolls go out of their way to fuck with me as hard as they can. And at the end of the day, all it does is make people feel sorry for me and make my YouTube trolls realize you're never going to be Cobra. You're jealous of what he is because he's not afraid to be himself and he keeps it real and he has the sweetest life that you don't have. Seriously, my trolls are evil pieces of shit and I feel sorry for them, to be honest. Apparently, there's another subreddit dedicated to hating King Cobra because the first one got deleted. And you would think that, okay, you know what? Maybe we should take a hint and back off from Cobra just a little bit because the first subreddit got deleted and it made them so fucking mad and my trolls were so fucking obsessed with hating Cobra they had to create another one. I don't care if I have the best birthday ever because then all the other birthdays are just going to be a letdown, you know. That's not quite enough for a full glass of Chase. But maybe we can add to that. With more alcohol, you devilish bastard. Whiskey and beer and a splash of whatever fuck juice I used. No, they don't. Fuck sickos. God, people need to fucking get over Cobra's bullshit. Like, the comment I got was, oh, YouTube loves sickos. I'm like, I would hope they don't, otherwise I'd get off this platform and go stream on Kick. Yummy. That is fucking smooth. You get to a point where you don't even care what brand it is as long as it gets you drunk and it tastes good. Winning.
We'll be right back after these messages.
And good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Morning Coffee 364. And we are here to talk, just to talk. No real nameplate, if you will, no real title for this particular one, due to the fact that I was researching at the wee hours of the morning this morning, and the more I researched, the deeper the rabbit hole got, and it's just the gods and goddesses are going to have to intervene. That's just all there is to it, because I can tell you right now, the more I dug into this, the more I researched, the more I looked. You know, and let me address Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes right now, because they'll get on social media. Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes both. Oh, woe is the Catholics. The Catholics are represented. The Catholics this, the Catholics that. You know what I found? when I started digging into these congressmen and senators, both state and federal, guess what I found? You're either a Jew or you're a Catholic. Yeah, for real. And a few Muslims. Because we have some Muslims in federal Congress. But yeah, you're either Jew or Catholic. Protestants aren't even represented. And God help you if you're a pagan, you don't get no representation at all. Because God forbid we have them filthy evil pagans in our government, right? Even though they helped found the nation. So yeah, crazy, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just amazing? So for all the bluster of Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes, it's all bullshit. And what's even funnier is that you'll have people claiming to be a Catholic, but they have a Jewish last name. And it's like, you don't win, you don't win either way, because Catholics don't represent the American people. The American people are represented by those who fled the Catholic Church, those who fled the Church of England and the Church of Rome, which were Catholic churches. The Protestant Reformation, folks, didn't come until much, much later. And even if you insist that it did, it wouldn't have been of any consequence anyway. I mean, it's not like they had an army or some shit like the Catholics did. So I mean, you know, it was just ridiculous. But you know, now having said that, King James, the author of the King James Bible, did come along later, claiming to be Protestant, started slaughtering all kinds of Christians, Baptists, Catholics, anybody that disagreed with him, basically. So I mean, you know, and you're carrying his Bible under your arm. How convenient is that? And do you think that's a coincidence? No. But you know, it's just crazy. It's insane. I started digging on this shit, and I found this. The signer of the Declaration of Independence was a Catholic. And I'm like, wait a minute. Weren't the founding fathers fleeing the Catholic Church for being persecuted? Yes. That's the whole reason America exists, is because the Catholic Church under the Pope were persecuting Protestants. We're persecuting people with different beliefs. That was the whole damn point of founding this nation, was to get the fuck away from the Catholic Church. But yet, I'm doing this research, I'm doing some digging this morning, and what do I find? I find this guy called Carol of Carrollington, an astute Catholic, signed the Declaration of Independence. It's like he wasn't even supposed to fucking be here. Then I find out he's in with Lord Baltimore any fucking way, who is a British national. So, I mean, he was basically a spy. Anyway, so we have a spy working for the Catholic Church, working for Lord Baltimore, that signed the Declaration. Well, isn't that fucking just ducky? Isn't that just wonderful? Now, where do you think this bullshit cockamamie crap comes from? It comes from the American Historical Society, who, in 1982, rewrote all of our history. Literally. They literally rewrote all of our history. Vaughn, why would they do that? Because they hate America. Because they want America to be as messed up as they possibly can make it. And they literally rewrote it, you know, like Carol of Carrollington. I mean, they couldn't come up with something a little more original. Carol of Carrollington, really? Yeah, that couldn't be fake, no. But I mean, you know, they come up with this crap, you know, and now the nice thing about it is the article did admit that he couldn't hold public office until all the founders died. So, you know, there is that little tidbit of info that was in there. But I mean, you know, of course, once all the founders are dead, well, hey, you know, he's here. He might as well sign the Declaration of Independence, and you know, and it's like, give me a break, man. Just give me a break. It was actually making my head hurt. It was actually making my head hurt. Because I know for a fact there was no Catholics here. I even showed you an article where it said they were encouraged not to come here, which is a really polite way of saying don't come here, period, because that's what was originally said. Is it CERN turning on their damn machine and fucking with our history? Is it the American Historical Society? I think it's a combination of both. Like I said, folks, I remember I saw this with my own eyes. Okay. In 1981, the American Historical Society, which was made up of Skull and Bones members, literally rewrote the American history, all of it. They rewrote it. They rewrote it in their image, not in the image of the founders or in your image. They wrote it in their image. Skull and Bones members who hate America rewrote our history books, our school books, all of it. I got to see this happen with my own eyes because my books in 1981 said one thing, and then in 1982, my school book said something completely different. Completely different. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm literally looking at my school books say a completely opposite thing, such as our founding fathers having slaves, for example. That's just one example, because they didn't have slaves. They had indentured servants. But, I watched it. I saw this with my own eyes. I watched it happen live, And Von, why would they hate America so much? I don't know. Globalism, a brain fart. I don't know. Well, you tell me. You tell me, dude. But they, they're Skull and Bones members. They're not loyal to the United States. They're loyal to the globalists. They're loyal to evil. They're loyal to demons, evil spirits. If they haven't returned it, they still have the skull of Geronimo, for God's sake. Who does that shit? And why? Good point, right? So, I don't presume to know that there's a way out of this short of the gods and goddesses fixing everything. Jews and Catholics are so firmly entrenched in every level of government, from local right on up to federal, that there's no way it can be fixed unless the gods and goddesses of freedom really, if you're a Protestant in this country right now, I want you to know that you ain't got no representation. And God help you if you're a pagan. Well, you're just garbage, You got no representation, man. If you're a Protestant or a pagan who founded this nation, by the way, you're not represented. And like I said, I even found this one dude who's got a Jewish last name, but he's claiming to be a Catholic. Let me bring his happy ass up, because that's just sweet. It's just awesome. It really is. And bring this bad boy up here and let y'all see him. All right. Major election alert. President Trump.
Vaughn thinks this is strange. His best friend on the internet is an Irish Muslim. Think about that for a sec, folks.
President Trump officially endorses Brad Schimmel in pivotal Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Schimmel is a Jewish last name. I don't think, is there anybody going to actually contest me on that one? Okay, so when you run this guy's bio, though, what do you find? Oh, he's claiming to be a Catholic. Hey, Nick Fuentes, you okay with that? You okay with a Jew posing as a Catholic? You all right with that? How about you, Stu Peters? You okay with that shit? Yeah. He's got a Jewish last name, but he's claiming to be a Catholic if you run his bio. Why? I don't know. Ask him. He's got a Jewish last name, though, Schimmel. Schimmel's a Jewish last name. That's not a Catholic last name. That's a Jewish last name. The stakes couldn't be any higher. We just got to put this Jew in office who claims to be a Catholic. We got to put him in office. Okay, great. But I'm not a Catholic or a Jew. So who's representing me? Is this guy supposed to represent me? Or the good people of Wisconsin? No, he can't. He's not a Protestant, is he? He's not a pagan, is he? Protestants and pagans founded the United States of America. That's documented fact. Not Catholics, not Jews, not Muslims. In fact, we're currently at war with Islam, which nobody wants to bring up. Gee, I wonder why. Why won't nobody bring that up? That we're at war with Islam. But yeah, there he is, Brad Schimmel. All right. Notice how the Jews and Catholics are all claiming to be Protestant now and claiming to be Republicans and conservatives, and it's like, how can that be? Because you don't represent the Constitution of the United States. You represent the Pope. I mean, let's get real about this. If you're a Catholic, you're going to represent the Pope because the Pope is the boss. The Pope is the boss. So I'm just, I'm trying to figure this out. Having a hard time of it too. Oh, it would help if I had put that up on the screen for you. It's like, put it up on the screen, man. Okay, let's put it up on the screen so you can see it. There we go. There he is. Major election alert. President Trump officially endorses Brad Schimmel in pivotal Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Okay, well, Schimmel's a Jewish last name. There he is. But yet, if you go read his bio, he claims to be a Catholic. It's stuff like this that really, really made my brain hurt, because this guy isn't just the only example.
It's stuff like this that makes his brain hurt. He just can't. He can't accept the fact that just because the dude has like a Jewish last name, that maybe someone back in his family was Jewish, like how many generations ago, and he carries a last name that he's been raised Catholic. And he just can't get his brain around it. He just can't do it.
Time's up.
Can't do it, folks.
Catholics posing as Protestants. Jews posing as Protestants. Catholics posing as Jews. Jews posing as Catholics. What the fuck, man? I don't get it. We are so screwed, man. We are so screwed. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. But I mean, Schimmel's a Jewish last name, folks. I mean, call a rabbi, say, hey, is Schimmel? Yeah, he'll say, yeah. So, but he claims to be a Catholic. Okay, whatever. Am I going to argue about it? Fuck no, because it don't do no good to argue about it, right? No, don't do no good to argue about it. So why bother? But I mean, it's just.
Buddy from the outside chat donated $5 through Super Chat. I'm gonna tell Von your real name is SecularOpinionsburg.
Do it. Please do it. I haven't heard any word from him from the care package. He should have got that by now. He's probably too afraid to open it. Probably thinks it's a fucking. Probably sent it to the FBI or something to get scanned. Yeah. But anyways, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Ridiculous. I don't get it. They're all trying to pull the shuck and jive. Meanwhile, those of us out here that are Protestant or pagan, we get left in the dirt. It's like, man, it's just not right. And say, well, Bon, that's just one example. Okay, great. I'll give you another one. I got plenty of these, man. And like I said, these are recent. This is not. These aren't old articles this time. This is a recent article. Let me zoom this in here. There we go. Boing, 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 boing. And there we go. GOP leaders raise alarm bells over a Florida special election in a deep red district. Uh-oh. Look at that. Are they, so they're not even hiding it anymore, right? Yeah. Not even hiding it anymore. You know why they're not hiding it anymore, guys? Because they got a Jew in the White House.
Just coming out of the woodwork, folks.
That's why they're not even hiding it anymore.
Not even hiding it anymore, folks.
Oh, and by the way, Trump is endorsing this guy too to run. State Senator Randy Pine's special election campaign for a U.S. House seat in Florida has caused concern among Republicans in Washington. Republican leaders have been privately alarmed about massive fundraising disparity 2020, 2016 to 2018.
So
I would love to believe that Protestants are in control.
He's just going along, I'm going to find all the Jews. And then what? Then what? But that shirt, look at that shirt. That shirt's been through a genocide or two. Yeesh.
Here in the great state of Kentucky, but it's not true. It's just not true. So yes, it's going to take the gods and goddesses of freedom religion to literally come down and fix this country, because this country is under the control of people that don't belong here. Sorry, Catholics, but you don't belong here. You put a man as a mouthpiece for God. And thus putting one man above others, which is a violation of the Constitution, which says, and I quote, that all men are created equal. So, and there are other things within the Catholic belief that prohibit them from being here, namely the slaughter of thousands and thousands of Protestants and pagans, which is why we fled Europe in the first goddamn place and come here to found a new nation, because we were persecuted by the Catholic Church. So then we're going to let y'all come right in behind us? No. Well, that was over 250 years ago. I don't give a damn. Do Catholics still worship the Pope? Do Catholics still claim that the Pope is the mouthpiece of God on this earth? Yes. Is that against the Constitution? Yes. I went to look for King James and King George and the persecutions that occurred regarding the founders and their wish to leave Europe. Couldn't come up with nothing. It had been completely scrubbed from the fucking internet. Well, imagine that. Gee, folks, you think that's by coincidence? Or do you think that's by design? Let me say it again. If you are a Protestant or a pagan, you are not represented in any tier of government in this country. Especially if you're a pagan. But even if you're a Protestant, but this made me angry. In the article about Carol of Carrollington, it said that he, a Catholic, fled to come to America because he was being persecuted. All right. Persecuted by who? The Reformation was in its infancy. And they sure as hell didn't have an army. And yes, it's true. King James purported to be a Protestant. And he put forth the King James Bible. But, you know, I mean, then you find out, though, that he was serving the Lord Balthury and all that good jazz. So he was a spy for the British any goddamn way. So, I mean, it was just... But he signed the Declaration of Independence, at least according to the American Historical Society. A man who was not supposed to be here signed the Declaration of Independence before the founders died. Okay. Beautiful. It's just, you know, when you start down the rabbit hole, man, it's insane. It's just insane, man. It really is. And I you know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you're a Protestant or a pagan in this country, you're not represented. You're just not. I mean, even in my own state, right here in Kentucky, I started doing digging on the people that are in office here in Kentucky. Catholics and Jews, not one Protestant among them, and certainly not a pagan. God forbid. God forbid we have pagans in there that actually helped to found the nation, such as Irish Gaelic, for example. But yeah, man, this was a rabbit hole that was just amazing. People with Jewish last names claiming to be Catholic, and then Catholics claiming to be Protestants, Jews claiming to be Protestants. It's like, God, pick a side, people. Fuck. You know, of course, I have to give, you know, the Fink guy credit. I mean, at least he did wear his Jewish pin, so I got to give the guy credit. But I mean, my God, you know, most of them using deception to win an election instead of just being who they are and just winning by money, which is what they could do. Like I said, man, you know, I was the real deal. I was a real conservative. And, you know, I'm sitting here thinking now that I'm thinking about it, I may have still been a Christian back when I ran for House of Representatives. I'm trying to think. I think I was a Protestant, Christian, evangelical, back when I was running. And couldn't even get my foot in the door, man. If you don't have $1 million war chest, you're not running for office. Give it up, dude. I was talking to somebody on True Social about this whole sordid mess. And I told him, I said, you know, Trump got 71 million votes, right? And Kamala Harris got 53 million votes. All right. So let me whip out the trusty dusty calculator here. All right. Let's put it over here. We'll do this in real time because we're good like that. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. All right, there we go. Bada boom, bada bing, baby. All right. Trump got 71 million votes. All right. And Kamala Harris got 53 million votes. Right? Okay, that's 124 million votes.
So those aren't accurate numbers, by the way, folks. He got like 77-ish, and she got like 75-ish. Those are closer to the real numbers. So
124. All right, remember that number, 124. All right, there are 333 million Americans. Okay, so minus 124 equals 209. So 209 Americans did not vote in the 2024 election. They didn't. They sat home. They stayed home. Didn't vote. If all 209 million of those voters had went out and voted, and
he realizes that when he looks at like the total population of the United States, that includes like children and people under 18, right, Von?
They had voted Constitution Party, a third party that actually defends the Constitution of the United States. They would have won in a landslide. They would have won in a landslide, and the Constitution would have been preserved. The articles, the acts of 1871 and Act of 1913 would have been repealed because we would have had congressmen and senators. We would have had a majority of congressmen and senators in there from each state to vote to repeal those two acts. We would have had abortion completely abolished. We would have had a lot of these alphabet soups completely destroyed and gone. And, this would be a totally different country right now. But that didn't happen because 209 people realized what I've just realized this morning by doing research. It just doesn't matter. You can sit there and vote to your blue in the face and it won't do shit. Because unless you got $1 million war chest, you're not running for public office. And if we don't put Protestants and pagans in office, we're going to lose our country any goddamn way. If we haven't already lost. I mean, technically, we've already lost the country because the Jews and the Jews and the Catholics pretty much have this country sewn up. So when Nick Fuentes or Stu Peters gets on video or on social media and whines and cries about the Catholic Church and how Catholics are so mistreated and so misrepresented, they're full of shit. They're absolutely full of shit. I couldn't find one fucking Protestant. Not one. They're all Catholics or Jews. They claim to be Protestant, but then when you do some digging, it's like, oh, no, they're actually Catholic. Or they're actually a Jew. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Where do we get represented? The pagans and the Protestants who actually founded the nation. When do we get represented? Who's going to represent us? A Catholic? A Jew? A Muslim? No, those people don't represent us. And they don't like America either. They hate America. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a joke, And so those 209 Americans stayed home. They didn't vote. And now it's plain to see why, isn't it? Yeah, it's plain to see. Because it don't do you no good. Because unless you got $1 million war chest, you're not going to be able to run for office anyway. Because everybody's like, well, why isn't there Protestants running? Why aren't pagans running? Because you got to have money and lots of it. And even if you did somehow manage to get $1 million together to run for public office, what did that Jew say? He said, oh, they'll just put somebody to run against you and then give them millions and millions of dollars so that, you can't win. Well, who can win against that? Who can fight against that? See, money should never have been allowed to be part of the political process. And originally it wasn't. Like I told you, Ben Franklin used to never get paid. He used to do it for free. He considered it his civic duty, as did all the founders. They consider it their civic duty. Ben Franklin would take a 2-day buggy ride in blinding snow and freezing cold to go from Virginia to Pennsylvania to work in Congress for free, and then take a 2-day horse and buggy ride back out of his own pocket. He started a printing press, printing newspapers called the Ben Franklin's Almanac, just for that very reason. So he would have the money to be able to pay for his way to take a horse and buggy to Pennsylvania and back to work in Congress for free. In blinding cold and snow. Folks, ask anybody on the East Coast how fucking cold it gets in the wintertime. They'll tell you. Can you imagine doing that in a horse and carriage? Can you imagine? These men were tough. They were tough old birds. And it's a shame that the American Historical Society has painted them as slave owners and has just absolutely run the founding fathers through the mud. It's a shame and a reproach. It's just horrible. But what are you going to do? Not much you can do, is there? No, not really. Just got to deal with it. But it's really, really sad, man. But I wanted to touch on that, and I may yet do a full video on this, but God knows how long it's going to be, because I just kept finding more and more and more and more and more shit, and it's like, God, I was just the sheer volume of it was amazing, and it's like, yeah, it really is going to take a move of the gods of freedom religion. Gods and goddesses both. Unfucking believable. Just unbelievable. But the subterfuge is what got me, man. Here's a guy with a Jewish last name claiming to be a Catholic. And what does he think we can't read? Does he think we're not going to research the name Schimmel and find out, oh, it's a Jewish name? We're not going to research any of that shit and find out, it's a Jewish name. Do I need to even do any research? Listen to it. Listen to how it sounds. Schimmel. Yeah, it's a Jewish name. Of course it is. But he's claiming to be a Catholic. That's what his bio says. If you go to his wiki on the internet, it said, oh, he's Catholic. Okay. All right. Hey, call yourself whatever you want. Believe whatever you want. I don't give a shit. But Schimmel's a Jewish name. There's no question on that. There's no getting around that. But it's hilariously funny, But what's even funnier is Nick Fuentes and Stu Peters getting on social media claiming that Catholics are not represented when they literally control Ohio, New York, Florida, Alabama, Wisconsin. They're all Catholics, not a Protestant among them. And the ones that aren't Catholic are Jews. Give me a break, Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes both. Give me a break. Catholics aren't even supposed to be here. We fled Europe because of the Catholic Church persecuting us. Well, maybe they were prosecuting us too. I don't know. But they were definitely persecuting us. That was the whole point. The whole point of the founding of this nation was because the Catholic Church and the Church of England were persecuting Protestants and pagans, and in many cases, killing them outright, especially in the case of pagans. Burned at the stake, anyone? It's called the burning times, folks. Just Google that term, burning times. Find out for yourself. They used to slaughter pagans, burn them alive, boil them in oil. All kinds of nice things. Put them on a rack and stretch them until they died. Fun stuff, right? Well, Vonhelton, Jesus said we got to love our enemies and we got to do it. I'd like the Catholic Church and the Church of England give a fuck about what Jesus said. Apparently they didn't, did they? Remember, folks, good old King James put in there, suffer not a witch to live. Why do you think he put that in there? He put that in there so they could persecute pagans. And it might have even been in the Catholic version as well, under a different wording. I don't know. I'd have to look. But yeah, I mean, slaughtered pagans by the millions. By the millions. That were not guilty of anything. Hadn't broken any laws, hadn't hurt anyone, hadn't done anything wrong. But because they were pagan, they had to be burned at the stake and boiled in oil and stretched on the rack and everything. Fun stuff. And my dog's barking again. For some stupid reason. Barking at shadows, maybe. Who knows? But yeah. So there we are. You're not represented. If you're a Protestant in this country, you are not represented in your government. No, you're not. No, you're not. And like I said, it was amazing to find Jews in our government right here in Kentucky. It's like, what the fuck? You know, the land of hillbillies and rednecks, but we got Jews in our government here? How? How did that happen? How? Because there is no Protestants running because they can't afford it. Protestants and pagans cannot run for public office because they can't afford it. And even if they could afford it, they'd be wasting their money because, like I said, that Jew said on that video, said, we'll just put somebody in against him and he won't win anyway. He'll lose his $1 million and he'll lose the election. How do you win against that? Well, you don't. You can't. I ran for the House of Representatives. I was a write-in candidate for President of the United States twice. Never went anywhere. Why? Because real conservatives, and especially if you're a pagan like me, you're not getting in. No fucking way. But even if I was a Protestant, because like I said, I think when I ran for the House of Representatives, I was still a Christian. I was still evangelical. I still didn't win. So, I mean, you know, this is messed up, man. The gods and goddesses are going to have to intervene because it's totally messed up. It's totally messed up. But when Stu Peters or Nick Fuentes or anybody says, oh my God, the Catholics are so misrepresented in Congress. Bullshit. That is absolute bullshit because I done looked it up myself. I mean, I can sit here all morning and go through every one of them for you. Not a Protestant among them. Not one. I couldn't find them. And there's I think they said 37 Jews that admit to being a Jew, which seems awfully low to me because the last time I checked, half of Congress was not only Jews, but dual citizens. So where do we get this 37 number from? Because the House of Representatives is 435 people, right? Okay, so if half of them are Jews, and then half of that is people that actually are dual citizens, that's going to be a lot more than 37, right? Yeah, it's going to be a lot more than 37. So I don't know where they got the 37 number from, but that was from Jerusalem Post, I think, or Jerusalem Independent. It was a Jewish paper. It said 37, but now, admittedly, that was 2021. So, you know, it fluctuates, I guess. But I just, I thought I would talk about this morning and just let you know how deep the rabbit hole goes on this and how I just, the more I researched this, the more frustrated I got, knowing damn good and well that there wasn't even any Catholics here back then. But yet here we got this Carol of Carrollington guy, a supposed Catholic. It's like, man, like I said, is it CERN? CERN may have a hand in it. They turn on that damn machine and it alters our reality. And they enjoy that. It's just like that video I showed you the other day of Geordie Rose. getting up there just happy as a clam. Hey, we can manipulate reality. Hey, we can steal the energy of other realities and use that energy for our own purposes. And it's like, okay, whatever, dude. You know, it's like, are you guys for real, man? You know. But I mean, you know, yeah, but you know, if you want to prove me wrong, try to run for public office. I dare you. I dare you. And let it out that you're a true conservative that follows the Constitution of the United States. You won't get 5 foot past the door, man. They'll have somebody lined up against you that's pro-Israel or pro-Catholic, and you'll be done. You'll be done. Free for a show. Well, I don't know, Cisco. Let me see. Cisco says, "Are you free for a show?" I don't know. Let me see. If you're here and you're awake, I'll invite you in. Let's see here. Send me the link if you set up a show. Okay, I will send you the link. I will do that, sir. Why not, right? More the merrier. There you go, Sissy-Co. When you got the link, man. That was 5 p.m. yesterday, or 6 p.m. yesterday. So I don't know if he's awake this early in the morning or not. But on the off chance that he is, hey, come on in, dude. This is an email from Gab. I will read a small excerpt. This is from Gab. The internet is dead. What was once a frontier of open exchange and shared innovation has rotted into a cesspool of algorithmic sludge. Good words there, Mr. Torba. By the way, folks, let's be clear. Mr. Torba is a Christian. I'm a pagan, and we get along just fine. I don't have a problem with him. He don't have a problem with me. Now, we're not going to agree on religion, obviously, but when it comes to this nation and, you know, protecting the people of this nation and supporting the Constitution of the United States, we're locked. But anyway, AI-generated propaganda and third world spam factories. Every major platform, X, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, is overrun by bots masquerading as humans, content creators, shilling mind-numbing garbage, and foreign actors who are paid pennies to destabilize Western discourse. This is in progress. It's a digital invasion, and it's time to fight back. Let's be clear, the West is under siege. Boy, you said a mouthful, Mr. Torba. Not by armies or missiles or bombs, but by a relentless tide of cultural entropy. Our enemies don't need bullets. They weaponize open borders, both physical and digital, to flood our societies with alien values, tribal grievances, and nihilistic disdain for the traditions that built civilization. Meanwhile, Silicon Valley's obsession with global connectivity has turned social media into a dystopian marketplace where every interaction is commodified, every opinion hijacked by AI, and every debate sabotaged by bad faith interlopers. The result? A generation of atomized, demoralized Westerners stripped of their heritage and gaslit into believing their culture is the root of all evil. And Mr. Torba says this ends now. The solution isn't reform. It's digital segregation. Voluntary, unapologetic, end rooted in the unshakable belief that Western civilization, its history, its values, its people, is worth preserving. Gab has already proven this model works. By banning traffic from third world hellholes, we slash spam, scams, and moderation overhead by wide margins. By rejecting the integration of AI directly into our social network, we restored genuine human connection. By enforcing a pro-Western ethos, we created a haven free from global homo cult of diversity, equity, and other Marxist buzzwords designed to erase something identity. Oh, erase our identity. Okay. This isn't exclusion, it's self-defense. Let's dispense with the fairy tales. Multiculturalism is a death cult. Yes, bingo. For decades, we've been told that blending every value system into one homogeneous slop would create utopia. Instead, it's giving us societal decay, endless ethnic tension, and a ruling class that despises the working men and women who built this civilization. The digital sphere mirrors this collapse. Why should a factory worker in Ohio be forced to debate politics with an Indian troll farm operator? Why should a mother in Bavaria have her feed flooded with AI-generated degenerate content? The answer is simple. They shouldn't, and they won't. Not if we build walls. China understood this. Say what you will about their authoritarianism, but the Great Firewall protected their people from Western degeneracy. The porn, the hyper-individualism, the relentless propaganda to abandon tradition. They prioritized cultural cohesion over mindless openness, and their society remains intact. We don't need totalitarianism, we need sovereignty. A sovereign digital space where Westerners can speak freely, associate with their own, and transmit their values to the next generation without interference from hostile foreign forces or Silicon Valley's woke-skulled commissars. This is not a debate, it's war. A war for our culture, our children, and our future. Every great civilization reaches a point where it must choose between surrender and self-preservation. Gab has chosen preservation. We reject the false god of globalism. We reject the lie that Western values are comparable with third world dysfunction. We reject the Silicon Valley oligarchs who view our people as guinea pigs for their social experiments. Join us. If you're tired of being lectured about privilege by a bot farm in Bangladesh, if you're sick of seeing your feed overrun with AI-generated filth, hi, Rumble, remember me, motherfuckers? If you still believe in the legacy of our history, culture, and people, then Gab is your home. This is the last social network for real Westerners. No apologies, no compromises, no surrender. The line is drawn. Which side are you on? Okay, and Mr. Torba is absolutely correct. He's right. And I can remember when internet was first getting started, it was awesome. And it's went to shit. It really has. It's went to shit, man. It's unfortunate, but true. It's horrible what's happened. And, like I said, how do you fix it? Well, Mr. Torba is correct that, you can create an enclave on the internet that is solely yours, which is exactly what Gab had to do, because what Amazon and eBay and Apple and other companies were doing is they were blocking Gab from even being able to be created. And Gab literally had to, create their own infrastructure, their own on-ramp and off-ramp, if you will, to the internet. They had to have their own servers. They had to have their own software. Everything had to be made by them, because if you used anything else, they would try to shut you down. And like I said, it was, Apple tried to shut them down. Microsoft tried to shut them down. Hi, Microsoft. Amazon, eBay, Google, they all tried to shut them down. Everybody tried to shut them down because, they did not want genuine, bona fide free speech. They thought it was evil, which it is not. Now, like I said, you don't do things that would put people in harm's way, such as yelling fire in a crowded room. Obviously, that's going to get you arrested because why? Because you're putting people's lives at risk. Shouting fire in a crowded room is going to do what? It's going to cause people to stampede. And when they stampede, they're going to trample one another and people will die. That's common sense. So, but Mr. Torba's email is quite profound, and this is born out from him having to do everything, and it's just it shouldn't have to be that way, but it's that way. And so Gab really is an oasis on the internet because nobody can shut him down. And believe me, they want to shut him down. If Bezos could shut down Gab tomorrow, he'd do it, but he can't because Gab literally owns all of the stuff needed and necessary to be able to get out to the people. And that's the difference between Gab and everything else. Which makes me wonder if Truth Social has its own on-ramp and off-ramp. Because if not, the Amazon store could say, we're just not going to put you in the store no more. We're going to put your app in the store no more. See you, bye. What are you going to do? Then you can do. Because they control that shit. So, fascinating stuff, huh? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But this gives you an idea, does it not, of why the gods and goddesses approached me and said, we will restore the Great Republic. We'll do it. Not Trump, not white hats, not the military. We will restore the Great Republic. Now, Trump is claiming he wants to restore the Republic, but he says he wants to restore America. Well, what is America? America is a Rothschild corporation. Well, I don't want a Rothschild corporation. I want the Republic as envisioned by the founding fathers. And you're not going to get there unless you repeal the Act of 1871 and the Act of 1913. Because if you leave those acts intact, you open a door for the globalists to just come back. Okay, and not only that, but after Trump is out for 4 years, let's say Trump does his 4 years, it's a great 4 years, no disparaging Trump at this point. He goes through his last 4 years, has a great 4 years, everything's wonderful. Well, what happens after he's out? What happens after he's out is that here come the Democrats. They rig the election, they take over again, and everything goes back to shit again. Unless you put it in Congress, in an actual amendment to the Constitution, none of this stuff is going to stay solid. It's going to be gone. And by the way, Mr. Putin, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, pointed this out rather succinctly. He said, how do we set up things with the United States when the United States changes their government every 4 years? I see his point. I understand his frustration. I do, particularly when you have Democrats that hate America and are trying desperately to destroy us. So, I mean, I understand his frustration, because he had to go through that 4 years of Biden too. We as Americans, we sit there and we think, oh, we went through 4 years of hell under Biden and Harris. Well, we did. But see, Russia had to put up with them too. And so did everybody else in the world. And do you think it was even any easier for them? No, not really, because they had to deal with them. In fact, in many cases, they had to deal with them on a much more different level than you and I, because they had to deal with them directly in some cases. It's like, oh my. So, there's that. So, but I'm, if people want me to do a full-on down in the dirt video on, the Jews and the Catholics that have infiltrated our government from local level right on up to federal level, I'll do it. But I mean, we're talking about a lot of work, a lot of research, and, it would take a lot of time to do. But I'm willing to do it if the response is there, if people want that. Now also too, I want to touch briefly on a video that I was given, which purports to discuss the fact that Zuckerberg and Thiel and Musk are all in collusion with each other. Well, I mean, didn't I discuss that in my video, One Big Happy Family? Yeah, I did. The video that I was given, pretty much just solidified everything I told you about in my One Big Happy Family video. So, it's nice to get confirmation, though. I mean, that's basically what their video was. It was a confirmation that what I told you was correct, which it was, because I'm not allowed to lie, remember? So there's that. And I just, if you want me to do a video on this thing, which will probably be several hours long, admittedly, but if you want me to do it, I'll do it. Because, I have no problem discussing this. But I mean, it's just, but the control, the grip on our government, both local, state, federal, county, whatever, is just, it's incredible. It's incredible the amount of control that the Jews and the Catholics have on the United States, a country they're not even supposed to be in. Meanwhile, the Protestants and pagans that did found this nation, however you wish to say it, we're not represented at all. Or if we are, it's so small a number, it's ridiculous. Like I said, you have Catholics posing as Protestants, you have Jews posing as Protestants, you have Jews posing as Catholics, you have Catholics posing as Jews even. It's crazy. I'm sitting there with my mouth open. I'm just sitting there in just shock at all the convoluted crap, and meanwhile, a real conservative like me that would like to run for public office can't, because the Jewish lobby will just put a Jew in there, or the Catholic lobby will just put a Catholic in there, and I'll lose anyway. It's like, well, shit, So, I mean, why bother? Which is exactly what's going on. Protestants and pagans are like, why bother running for public office when they'll just put up somebody against me and I won't win? I can see their point, and I can see why 209 people didn't vote in the last election, because they know it's a pointless thing to do, because you're going to get a Jew or you're going to get a Catholic. You're not going to get somebody that actually represents the actual people that founded this nation. You're going to get a Jew or a Catholic. So the next time Nick Fuentes or Stu Peters or anybody else says, oh, the Catholics are so misrepresented in the United States, tell them that's a lie. Vonhelton already told me. Vonhelton already looked these people up. They're Catholics or they're Jews. Not a Protestant among them. Not one. So take your Catholics are so misrepresented and shove it, because it's a lie. It's a flat out lie. And it's just, I don't like the lies. I don't like the deception, because deception comes from where class? Oh, demons and evil spirits. So if you're engaging in deception, you're what? You are engaging in demonic activity. Stop deceiving people. Stop it. Just stop it. At least I gotta give Fink credit. At least Fink did wear a Jewish button on his damn shirt or his coat. I gotta give the man credit for that. But I mean, damn, stop it with the deception already. For God's sake, man. But yeah, Welcome to reality, Protestant. Welcome to reality, pagan. You're not represented in this country at all, even though you founded the damn nation. I don't know what to, it's like I said, it's going to take the gods and goddesses to straighten this shit out. And to wipe out all the filth out of our government and all the globalist control out of our government. That's what it's going to take. And I, well, Vaughn, you're being a Debbie Downer. Well, I may be, but I got to tell you the truth, don't I? Right? I got to tell you the truth, man. I'm not allowed to lie, remember? I got to tell you the truth. But like I said, I mean, you want me to go into this in detail and expose every one of these sons of bitches, I'll do it. From local level right on up to the federal level, if that's what you want. But now, but just understand that's going to be a multi-hour long video. I mean, are you going to want to sit down for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours while I go through all this shit? I don't know if you'd want to do that, but I mean, if you do, hey, I mean, I've done live shows that were 8, 9, 10 hours long. I've done that. And they were pretty fun to do, actually. Because there was banter back and forth, so it was kind of fun. This, though, is going to be, a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work, and it's going to be, tedious, maybe even boring after a while. I mean, after about the 5th or 6th Jew, or the 5th or 6th Catholic, are you gonna still wonder if Vaughn was wrong about this shit? Oh well, here's another Catholic. Oh well, here's another Jew. Still waiting on the Protestants to show up. And God help you if you're a pagan, because ain't no pagans, not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of one pagan. Not local, state, federal, county, or federal. Nowhere. It's like, who's representing me? Nobody. If I ran for office and actually somehow miraculously got in, I would be the first pagan anywhere in government, local, state, county, or federal, that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of any others. Now, there was one Native American that was in Congress, but I don't know if the Native American still believed in Native beliefs or if he had converted to Christianity. But there was, years and years ago, a Native American in our Congress. But I don't remember his religion. I don't remember if he was still following the ancient Indian ways or if he had converted to Christianity. But, and if it's true, then he would be the first pagan that I've ever heard of. And then, of course, if I actually got in, I would be the second. But other than that, no. There's no pagans. Not really. So, I just thought I'd brighten your day. Sucks, don't it? It really does. It really sucks, don't it? To know that you've been totally screwed over, and taken over, But yeah, man, everybody just, tell Nick Fuentes and Stu Peters from me that I love them to pieces, but they're liars. When they get on there and say, oh, Catholics are so misrepresented. And Catholics are over half of the damn government. What the fuck are you talking about? Show me a Protestant. Go ahead. Show me. I just went through these motherfuckers. Now they pose as a Protestant. Oh, I'm a Protestant. But then when you do some real digging into their family or into their background or whatever, no, they're Catholic. They're Catholics. And it's like, goddamn. And that's provided that I would still be a Christian today, which I'm not. But even so, it's just ridiculous. It's just, like I said, man, my brain actually started hurting. I was looking at this stuff early this morning, and my brain actually started to hurt. It's like, fuck. But what are you going to do, right? Anyway, it's after 4:00, and it's after an hour and 11 minutes, it's saying now. So I'll go ahead and get out of here. But if you want me to do an in-depth video on this, if you want me to go deeper into this, I'll be more than happy to. If you're a dyed-in-the-wool Stu Peters fan or a dyed-in-the-wool Nick Fuentes fan, and you say, Vaughn, you're full of shit, the Catholics don't have control of our government, I'll be more than happy to prove you wrong. I just spent all morning going through all these motherfuckers. I'll be happy to prove you wrong. Okay. In case you doubt me, you know, like I said, after about the 5th or 6th Catholic and the 5th or 6th Jew, you're going to be like, okay, I've heard enough. See you. Bye. You know, because it's going to be boring. It's going to be tedious. But I mean, if that's what you want, I'll gladly go through it all with you. I'll gladly go through it. You know, it's just like Tom Massey said. Tom Massey said, when you come to Washington, D.C., you no sooner sit down in your office and here comes a Jew walking through the door, telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Is that freedom? Is that freedom? Is that a representative government represented by the people of the United States? Is it? No. No, it's not, is it? No. No, it's not. Anyways, I am going to get out of here and crash for a few hours, and then I'm going to be out again doing some stuff today. But yeah, man, nuts, right? Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. The only thing you can do. I mean, you know, do you think the Christian God is going to fix this? No. Because if he did, he would have done it, wouldn't he? Yeah. Christianity's had how many years now to fix this shit? 50 plus years. Done shit. So now it's time to give the gods and goddesses of freedom religion a chance, because they said they will fix it. They said they'll fix it. So it behooves one then to say, okay, gods of freedom religion, goddesses of freedom religion, fix this shit. See what happens. Just, you know, on a lark. Take a chance, you know. See what happens. Because they said they would fix it. And I'm crazy enough to give them a chance. And with that, I'm out of here. Y'all have a pleasant day and better tomorrow. Bye.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I was the fat kid in high school that the girls went to tell about their asshole boyfriend, and I never had a girlfriend. I was the one that they came to, the safe guy to come to and literally cuddle me in the commons. Like they would literally cuddle up to me because I'd be warm because I was a fat boy with my hoodie, my Tool hoodie. I usually had a Tool hoodie on or fucking System of a Down hoodie with like Jenko jeans. And I looked like a fucking fat dork. I had big glasses. I had ugly glasses, and I had like a fucking shitty haircut that I got from an old guy, Mr. Sosnowski. His name was. He's definitely passed away now, but he was a barber in Dixon. Sorry. He was, yeah. And I looked like a total fucking dork. I started to grow out my hair a little bit in senior year, but it was only to here. So I was just not. The seniors called me Farley, you know, Chris Farley. So I could be at like, you know, my local market that I go to, or I used to. I can't go anywhere right now because I can't drive for reasons I'm not going to go into. There's a market here locally that I went to, and there's a lot of like, and I'm not into this, okay, but they're younger chicks. They're younger. And it happens quite a bit that I go in there and I get the eye batting, right? And it's just a vibe I think I put off, like you said, that like I feel like I'm making them feel pretty. You know what I mean? And it's not anything I ever say or anything like that. It's just, I think, the way I am. Like you said, a vibe you put off. So yeah, that's another thing that's completely no one knows about me, except I've been feeling about myself a little bit. No one knows that. So, and until Shanny came along, I was resigned and I was fine with just being a eunuch, man, and being a virgin till I died. That's the truth. I had a fucking real doll torso that I bought, that I got my sexual shit out on it. Put a pair of fishnets on the fucker and did my deeds in it and cleaned it. I cleaned the fucker. But when Shanny came into my life, I put anything porn related, everything on my hard drives I deleted. I put any kind of sex toys I had that I used, like I had a penis pump, like an electronic one. It was weird. You like filled it with water and shit. It was bizarre. I didn't even really like it that much. But anything like that, I put in a box and put it out to the garbage. Everything was gone. So, and I'll go back to what you said about the food and stuff like that being love. Yeah, but I matured past that. I would agree that I did feel that way when I was immature. But I've very much matured in that, in understanding that love is love, and it doesn't have to be food or money or any material thing. It can just be a hug. It can be, oh man, I really feel for you. That's love, you know? How are individuals doing? Long time no see. Me doing a video here. It's been a little bit, hasn't it? Well, a little birdie told me that a certain member of our community, if you want to call it that, I've never made a video about this person ever. But I'm choosing to do a video on this because I just really have to warn you about the actual fucking danger you're in. So this video is going out to an individual that has made content about me and my wife, hate content about me and my wife for about, my God, is it actually 5 years? 4 years? Like 2020, 2021, I guess it started. Her name is Carrie, bored housewife. That's who I'm talking about. So I heard from a little birdie that likes to keep us up to date on stuff in Instagram DMs that Carrie has now, you have to bite the bullet. You have to bite the bullet. Why? This is definitely karma coming on you. 100%. Shanny and I have never spoken of you. You come up and we just basically ignore your ass. The one time we popped you on a copyright for fun to get your channel taken down for a couple days and piss you off, we had no intention of having any legal action. We just wanted your channel to go down for a little while. You have to bite the bullet now, hun. You know why? Because of karma. You inherited Dragnot's audience. They have turned on you now. You're going to have cops called every day. Your husband's job is going to be at risk. When they go hate on you, there's no, I can't describe it. It is the worst time in my life that I was facing those people and they were constantly in my life. Now I am protected because I am without actions that you would call sin, and I am fully committed to Jesus, like 100%. More than I even feel closer to him that when I was doing my videos, like, because I'm not drinking. So I have a hedge of protection around me. Carrie, you better fully repent, and it'd probably be a good idea to just delete your channel because these people are going to come for you. It happened to me, and now it's going to happen to you. Piece of Maranatha.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Right there wants his sausage, don't you, Bubby? Yes, he does. He wants his sausage. He's just sitting there all prim and proper, just, I'm ready for my sausage now. You want a sausage? Let me go get him his sausage. He wants his sausage really bad. He's so excited. He loves his sausage. You don't want my sausage, Daddy? Oh my God. Let's go in here. Let's go in here so we ain't keeping everybody waiting. Let's go in here so we ain't keeping everybody waiting. And you get yours and I get mine. Say, oh boy. Good stuff, huh? I'm looking around to make sure he didn't miss anything. Say, oh boy. You ain't wanting another one, are you? Now listen here, Piglet. I'm twice your size, easy. Don't you think I should get twice as much? Listen there, I know you got 2 pieces left. Huh? Yeah, I know you got 2 pieces left. I know what I'm going to do with you, pup. There you go. All right, now shuffle off. Oh, you want the plate. That's what you want. You want the plate. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. Can't say we didn't eat something good this morning, because we did. Now, on the more serious matters, because there is a lot of talk about judicial activism, which is, in my opinion, a violation of separation of powers. The definition of judicial activism is where judges overstep their bounds, doing things that are outside of the normal purview of a judge. That is the very definition of judicial activism. Get the sleep out of my eyes this morning. Better to see you with, my dear. So, I wanted to touch on that a little bit because obviously I'm very opinionated, as you well know. And when it comes to the courts, I am extremely opinionated. I've won a few and I've lost a few. And so obviously, I have quite a bit to say. So let's get right into it. Let me pull my screen up here and we will take a look-see. All right, Scoop. House to hold hearings next week on activist judges blocking the Trump agenda. I wouldn't call it the Trump agenda. I would call it following the Constitution, which is, pardon me, one of the things that I admonished President Trump to do, which is to follow the Constitution and to not listen to Bolsheviks. Don't listen to Bolsheviks. You listen to me, all right? Listen to me, be fine. Listen to Bolsheviks, go down the wrong path and screw everything all to hell. I have the will and the intent of the founders because that's how I roll. Pardonnez-moi, monsieur, but that is how I roll. So, that is my intent, is to make sure that we go down the right path, not the wrong path. Because that would be a bad thing. All right. Why is it people that hate Trump always look like a damn space alien? And is it just me? Is it just they always look like a space alien? What is it? Is it me? Am I losing my mind here? Anyway. All right. The House Judiciary Committee is expected to hold a hearing early next week looking into the issue of activist judges. 3 people familiar with discussions told Fox News Digital. It comes as the Trump administration has faced more than a dozen injunctions from various district court judges across the country on a range of political decisions or policy decisions. Well, same difference, maybe. I don't know. This story is breaking. That's it? Hold it. That's all? Okay. All right. Well, that's it. All right. Here's the thing. Okay. My, I'm sitting here thinking this, and especially with this recent flap about the conversation that everybody was having on a particular social media. What was the name of it? It wasn't Skype. Was it Shift, Stripe, something like that? Some kind of hua high security platform. And apparently and when you log in to this particular social media, you only have initials. And this reporter logged in under their initials, and apparently someone mistook them for someone else, and they were included in a call. Now, luckily, the call had absolutely nothing to do with anything of a security nature, but it was just the idea that, they got this reporter in the call that wasn't supposed to have been in the call.
So once again, Vaughn, a rogue reporter who has his finger on the pulse of what's going on, has got the story totally fucked up. I'm sure everybody in the audience already knows. It was the app Signal. It was the strike on Yemen. They had a reporter for the Atlantic in the call, real time, calling out their strategy. So, yeah, it was kind of like classified stuff. But anyways,
happens. It ain't no big deal. There's people in calls that I would have loved to have gotten rid of, that were in the calls, but so that is a blunder that should not be made a second time. What you should do is have people send a memo like about say 2 minutes prior to the meeting and saying, here's where it's going to be, how it's going to be, when it's going to be, what time it's going to be, what day it's going to be, what week, what year. And that way you alleviate that. But it was one thing when judges were going after Trump the man. It's quite another to be going after Trump the president. Because Trump the president is usually dealing with matters of national security. And so as a result of that, you have judicial activism in its extreme form. You know, we have this thing called separation of powers for a reason. Okay, the executive does things, the judicial does things, and the legislative does things. Each three pieces has their role to play in the pursuit of justice, law, and order. And the problem with me seeing these justices and judges doing what they're doing is that, you know, even before Trump became president, I'm seeing people with access to him, you know, from his first term and even before that don't have a security clearance like I do. Yeah, I won't say how high my security clearance is, but it's way up there in the stratosphere. You know, I tell people on True Social all the time, I have a higher security clearance than anyone on True Social. Anyone. There is no one on True Social that has a higher security clearance than me. That includes Pete Hegseth. That includes Marco Rubio. That includes Kash Patel. That includes Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard. Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard. That includes all of them. They don't have a higher security clearance than me. Guaranteed. So I get incensed, all right? I get incensed when I find out that there are people that are able to get close to the president, that have access to the president, that don't have a security clearance like I do. And that there's no way in hell they're going to get one either. Because I got mine through a very roundabout way. Well, subsequent ones, you know, because I've had numerous. But anyway, point is that no, you know, I see people getting access to the president of the United States that have no security clearance to the best of my knowledge. And here I am with security clearance out to yin yang, and I can't get an audience with the president. So you know, you can understand my frustration, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I just, you know, I get a bit incensed. And then now on top of that, now we've got these judges without a security clearance that are going to try and say they can control and manipulate the activities of the president of the United States or the activities of the government at large, such as being able to determine what the federal government does with enemy combatants, which is way the fuck out of the purview of a judge, any judge. That is not their place. They do not have the security clearance necessary to be able to have anything to do with enemy combatants. See, and I gotta give the Trump administration credit. They actually did their due diligence. They researched Tren de Agro, and they found out, oh wait, they're an arm of the Venezuelan government, which they are. Which is something I was happy to find that they figured out on their own without me telling them. But you know, and as such, that changes the whole paradigm. Because now we're not talking about a bunch of street punks, right? We're talking about an arm of a foreign government. Okay, we're talking about a militant, not necessarily a military, but a militant form or offshoot or accessory of a foreign government. At that point, any discussion about Trinidad and Tobago becomes a matter of national security, and you must have a security clearance at a certain level as decided by whoever the hell decides that shit. There have been numerous times when I, with a security clearance that almost reaches to the heavens, could not get into a place because I didn't have the right security clearance. I have a high security clearance, but I didn't have the security clearance needed for that particular thing. And many things, particularly in the military, is on a need-to-know basis. And frankly, you don't need to know. Whether you be a judge, whether you be an attorney, whether you be, a politician, if you do not have that clearance, you're not getting in. Me and a high-ranking Air Force person. Hang on, Sharpie's wanting to get rid of some of that sausage. Hang on. You went out to get rid of some of that sausage, Bubby? Oh, you don't want out? Well, I thought you wanted out. Well, get on down the hall, brother. I'll be there in a minute. Well, I thought he wanted out, but I guess he's wanting my attention for some reason. Anyway, I'll give you a story, a true story. Me and a high-ranking Air Force officer were at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. All right. And there was, way down at the end, a hangar. All right. And there was some commotion going on down at the hangar, and so me and him said, well, we'll bebop our way on over there and see what the hell's going on, right? We were stopped before we ever got even halfway. Even before we even got halfway, it's like they knew where we were heading, what we were going to do, and they stopped us. You don't have the clearance. And I'm like, I have such and such, and the Air Force officers, I have such and such, and they're like, no, sorry, you're not getting in. So even if you have a high level security, if you don't have the security needed for that particular thing, you ain't getting in either, no matter how high or low it may be. It could be something that just requires top secret. But if you don't have the clearance for that particular item, you're not getting in. Sorry. Why? Because it's on a need-to-know basis. And frankly, you don't need to know. They've got people that are handling that situation, and that's how it rolls. So a judge wanting to interject themselves into matters of national security and into a situation that requires a certain degree of repartee. I want to say clearance, but I've said clearance like a million times. But clearance, you need a certain clearance to get into certain things of a national security. So when you're dealing with foreign powers, automatically, when you're dealing with foreign powers, it becomes national security. Then it requires a clearance. The Oval Office, the White House, you go through checkpoints where you have to show ID. You have to give your clearance. You have to, they have to know who the hell you are. Usually, you'll wear a nameplate around your neck. Not always, but sometimes. And that gets scanned, and then they'll ask you a series of questions because they want to make damn sure that whoever's there is supposed to be there. And if you're not supposed to be there, see you, bye. You know. By the way, I want to make a correction. I said Governor of Montana in my video, and I need to correct that. It was Governor of Minnesota. Too many M's that morning, I guess. But yeah, it was Minnesota. My bad. You know, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, the point is that, you know, Jesse Ventura couldn't get in. All right. He tried to get into that gulag out west. He couldn't get in. Why? Because you got to have a certain security clearance. And if you don't have it, you're not getting in. Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they go to Washington, D.C. and said, hey, let us see these J6ers. No, not getting in. Don't have the clearance. You got to have a certain clearance. So yeah, just, you know, I see these judges and justices, and they're sitting there saying, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No, they're not, because they ain't got no security clearance. Or they at least don't have the security clearance they're supposed to have in order to get done what needs to get done. Okay, so it's just, you know, it's just, well, it's actually quite humorous in my opinion. You know, I think it's hilariously funny, you know, that they're going to step out of the normal separation of powers and try to be an activist, and that's a total no-go because they don't have a security clearance. And I have to wonder if anybody actually sat down and said, hey, wait a minute, these judges don't have a security clearance. They can't do fuck all, as the Brits would say, about a matter of national security, and especially in regards to a foreign power, because they don't have the security clearance. Sorry. You know, I want to know everything about Trinidad. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not your purview. You don't have the security clearance. You know, I know some things about Trinidad that even I haven't mentioned. And it was nice to see that the Trump administration was actually doing due diligence this time without me telling them. So that's good. That's real good. But yes, they were an arm of the Venezuelan government. They were. And as such, it becomes a matter of national security, which means you have to have a certain clearance. And if you don't have that clearance, see you bye. You're not getting in. You're not having access to jack. And so Trump was correct in saying, I'm not giving the judge anything because the judge doesn't have a security clearance. Now, maybe he can run out and get one real quick. Yeah, good luck with that. But I mean, you know, and so once again, you know, you got people that are trying to worm their way into things without a clearance. And here I am with a clearance that reaches the heavens, and I can't get an audience with nobody. Sucks. Oh, well. But I just, you know, I wanted to bring up that point because I don't think that is a point that anybody's brought up yet. Is that these judges don't have security clearance. They have absolutely no right to be talking about matters of national security. You got to have a clearance. They don't have one. Simple as that, folks. It really is that simple. The judge says he wants to know all the data on Trinidad and Tobago. Well, sorry, you ain't getting it because you don't have the clearance. Period. End of story. Pardon me. I have a clearance high enough to be given access to that information, but I don't necessarily want it. You know, I've never really, I guess, you know, if I requested it, I probably could get it, but I don't want it. I mean, I already know the Zetas. I already know Trinidad and Tobago. I already know MS-13. I already know the Crips, the Bloods, and all these other cats because, you know, I was dealing with them in the past, shall we say. So I already know them. And I don't really need anything else. I already know all about it. And they know about me. Or they did. It's amazing. Amazing what happens. Amazing how things all mesh together, isn't it? Yeah. It really is. And so as a result, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm sitting here. How in the world would a judge or justice demand information on something that is a matter of national security without having a security clearance? The answer is you can't. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I don't care if you're Chief Justice John Roberts. If you don't have the security clearance for that thing, whatever that thing is, you ain't getting it. Period. And so this is a direction, an aspect, if you will, that I don't think anybody had brought up. I don't think anybody's talking about it. And so I'm going to talk about it because I can. And because I'm uniquely qualified to talk about it. So, and by the way, since we're on the matter, the Houthis claimed responsibility for the strikes against the U.S. ships. I'm reading the headline right there. So they claimed responsibility for the attacks. So we were justified in our counterattack. Well, imagine that. Like I said, when Trump is following the Constitution and following the law, I am going to give praise. When he's not, then I'm going to tell him, you're not, Now, someone was saying on the news the other day, some liberal was saying that there was something that wasn't constitutional. Oh, gosh, I wish I could remember what it was. Dang. They were saying that something wasn't constitutional. And the liberal was correct to an extent, but not fully. And I wanted to touch on it, and daggone it, I forgot what the heck it was. And it was just a little blurb. It wasn't, but it had something to do with all the fracas that's been going on of late. And something about, putting stuff back to the states or what have you. And, I'll remember it after the video is over, of course. But in any event, I want to talk about the activist judges and hit it from a different angle that maybe nobody else has hit it from yet, and that is the point of national security. Because I've got security clearances out the ass, and there's even places I can't get to. And that's just it's a need to know basis, and I frankly did not need to know, So, I don't know where these judges and justices get off saying, we want sensitive information when they don't have the clearance for it. That's all. And I think that's an angle that a lot of people hadn't thought about yet. At least I haven't heard anything about it. So I thought I'd throw my spy Finnig in there and see what comes of it. And that is 30 minutes. So there we go. So it worked out pretty good, didn't it? Yeah, it worked out real good. So, but I just, I wanted to throw that in there because, I hadn't heard anybody say it from that angle, right? So it's like, well, hey, wait, I remember there was times when I couldn't get in, and when my high-ranking Air Force officer friend couldn't get in, and we had clearances up to the moon and couldn't get in because it was a need-to-know basis, and we didn't need to know. So, Von, what was happening in that hangar? Well, I have my theories. I have my theories. And we're going to leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that for now. But I have my theories. But yeah, me and a high-ranking Air Force officer was at right, Pat, and we'll bebop on down there and take a look at that hangar. No, you ain't. Boom, stopped us before we even got halfway, because they saw exactly what we was going to do, and they stopped us before we even got halfway. And yeah, you don't have the security for that. You don't have the clearance for that. I mean, and it's like, yeah, no, you're not getting in. Sorry. So. I just thought I'd throw that angle out there because I don't think anybody's really looked into it from that perspective yet. Now, if, I'm willing to be corrected. If these justices happen to have a higher security clearance than I do, then they should be privy to information. If not, sucks to be them. Oh, well. Anyway, that is 30 minutes. And so I'm going to ring it off there. But, some for the Trump administration to chew on that maybe they didn't have. Another arrow in their quiver, if they hadn't already thought of it. But I was very pleased to hear that they had done their research on Trinidad and found out what they've. Now the Zetas are an interesting little group that might bear some more looking into, guys. Really nasty motherfuckers. Just like Trinidad del Agro, just like MS-13. Really nasty. Really bad news. And I want to look into them guys too, if you haven't already. Maybe Pete Hexas already looked into them. But if not, take a look into them. Excuse me. Take a look into them guys too while you're at it. And you might find some interesting stuff going on. All right. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. May the gods and goddesses of freedom religion bless you and keep you, and long live the Republic. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Boo Bear.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Sit, Brownie, sit.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, welcome to the humble abode.
Young Irvy Helton was a spry ninja in training. But then one day a debilitating disease turned him into a pathetic sack of shit. Hi, I'm Wolfer Brimley, and I'm here to tell you about a terrible affliction. Diabetes. Now scientists have found relief from this ailment.
Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
Hooey, folks, we got something that'll make you feel real good. Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
These tasty chili dogs will knock out diabetes in a heartbeat.
Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
Side effects include delusions of grandeur, swollen, crusty feet, unexplained foul-smelling odor, blind, impotent rage, and neglect. Always consult a doctor before trying new medications.
Chili dogs by the Vaughn.
Morning coffee 366, and I have grabbed the wrong one. There we go. That's a little better. The center kind of moves my circle there. Anyway, and of course Odyssey is buffering over on my end. I think that's mostly on my end, though. I don't think that's affecting the actual show. So maybe that's just me in this regard. All right. Good morning. It is 366, and I'm back here to remind you again of something that occurred in our recent past, I guess you could call it. Although it's been years, several years now. And I've brought this up many, many times before, and I'm going to bring it up again so that people get it in their head, okay? Because a lot of people don't retain something, or they gloss over it, or they just kind of half hear what I say and then run with it like a football. Vonhelton said this, Vonhelton implied that, and it's, no, you got to go back and watch the video again because you missed something. And that is, while you sleep in the dark of night, behind closed doors, the media is quietly talking about the dreaded monkeypox. Yes, yet another fear porn is out there called monkeypox, quietly working in the shadows, in the background, unbeknownst to the American populace, but that somberly sleeps and doesn't have a care in the world. And, trying to make it out to be this horrible, evil thing that's going to just kill us all, just any second. Thankfully, the people are not buying it, and that's good. And the media has realized this, and so they're not spreading it like a wildfire. So thankfully, that's the case, because it isn't. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, and then we'll get into actual mpox and what's going on with that, because I got an article on it and the whole 9 yards. But let me set this up by saying a tale of two viruses. For those of you that don't remember the Obama administration, 2 years of absolute hell and racism run amok, BLM and Antifa burning down whole cities, and yet you got governors actually siding with Antifa and BLM and even writing Black Lives Matter in their street to a terrorist organization funded by George Soros. But what's really interesting is that they had red buses. Isn't that neat? Were they trying to make themselves out to be Republican, maybe, or were they just admitting that they're flat out communist? Because remember, Antifa is anti-fascist, which would be communist in Europe. See, in Europe, it's different here in the United States than it is in Europe. In Europe, fascism is on the right and communism is on the left, right? But that's not how it is here in the United States. Here in the United States, anything that is big government is to the left. Okay? That's why we're not like Europe, and that's why we should not be like Europe. Because in Europe, you don't get away from big government. You got socialism in the middle, you got fascism on the right, and you got communism on the left. You don't get away from big government in Europe. You will always have big government in Europe. That's why America is different, because America doesn't believe in big government, or at least it didn't. And so in America, anything that is big government is to the left. All right. Anything that is small government, low taxes, more freedom, more representation from the people, that is to the right. So when the media taints somebody or tries to taint someone as far right, what are they saying? They're saying you're for small government. They're saying you're for low taxes. They're saying that you're a patriotic American. They say that you follow the Constitution. They say that you follow the will of the founding fathers. That's the only thing they could be talking about here in the United States, because here in the United States, we don't have this dichotomy of big government on literally every side that we turn. And this is where media ultimately fails. So it's a totally different paradigm, isn't it? Yeah. Totally different paradigm. Hi, Brittany. So it's a totally different paradigm. And Brittany, by the way, is back on X. I couldn't believe it. Not sure why. I guess she wanted some more money. I don't know. But she's back on X. So I wanted to bring up again, since Mpox is quietly simmering in the background, I thought I would bring up once again the tale of two viruses, because you got H1N1 put out by Obama, and then you got COVID put out by Trump. And the differences couldn't be more extreme. H1N1, unlike COVID, actually was killing people. It was actually extremely dangerous. It was really killing people. COVID, by contrast, everybody I talked to that got COVID, they lost their sense of taste for a few days, or they might have had a head cold, or, they might have even had the chills and were in bed. But did they die? Did they get bad sick or something? No. I mean, it was more or less like a 24-hour bug, and it was gone, In fact, my friend John, I think he had it for like a day or two. Said he had no taste for like a day or two, and then it was gone. That was COVID. Okay. So, I mean, COVID was a joke. So, contrast that with H1N1, which really was killing Americans. But see, here's where the contrast starts, not ends. It starts here, because under H1N1, under Obama, was we locked in our homes? No. Did we wear masks? No. Were we on quarantine? No. Were our kids, huddled together in groups and forced to wear masks whenever they were running or playing or anything? No. Did you have to keep 6 feet apart from everybody? No. Were small businesses shut down and ultimately destroyed? No. And H1N1 really was killing Americans, and it really was contagious. They say, well, Von, how can that be? Well, that's because you got played. That's how. You got played for a sucker. That's how. I mean, what else? What other excuse is there? We didn't have any of the shit that we went through on COVID. We did not go through with H1N1, and H1N1 really was killing Americans, and it really was contagious. Interesting, is it not? And so now you got Mpox quietly simmering in the background, folks. They're waiting for maybe they're just waiting for an opportunity to try to spring it on us, and it's horrible. Oh, the Americans are dying by the billions, and just waiting for the chance to get that fear pouring out there. So, but thus far, it's not taken hold, so that's good. And so far, but they're saying, oh well, it's in the Republic of the Congo. Well, that's thousands of miles away from me, so yeah, I'm not really all that concerned. Sorry. I mean, I'm sure, now obviously any loss of life is tragic, don't get me wrong. No one could be more cognizant of that than me, obviously. But really cognizant of it. But anyway, I mean, how many times have I died now, folks? I mean, God, am I even keeping score at this point? No. But, so it's quietly simmering in the background. But I wanted to remind you guys of H1N1 under Obama, which really was contagious, which really was killing people. But we didn't mask. We didn't socially distance. We didn't, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We didn't, none of that shit. None of it. Not interesting. And that's something for every American to remember. Every American needs to remember how we were under H1N1, under Obama, contrasted by how we were under Trump, under COVID. Because, some MAGA people will try to say, oh, well, COVID was Biden. No, COVID was not Biden. COVID was Trump. Sorry about your luck. Those businesses that were closed down was because of Trump. Trump is the one that mandated that all them small businesses be shut down. Trump is the one that mandated that you be masked. Trump is the one that mandated that you socially distance. Trump is the one that mandated you be locked in your homes like criminals. I mean, what is it when you're locked in your home? Oh, that's called house arrest, isn't it? Yeah. So you were treated like a criminal, weren't you? Yeah. Under Trump, not under Biden. Biden didn't come along until much later. Remember, Trump is the one that rolled out Operation Warp Speed, folks, not Biden. And believe me, I am certainly no friend of Biden. I am certainly no friend of Biden, especially Hunter Biden, who's a damn criminal, a rapist, a murderer, a sexual deviant, and a drug user. Probably a thief, too. But I'm certainly not going to side with the Bidens. However, you know, you got to put the blame where the blame belongs, which is on Trump. And contrast that with Obama, where you didn't have to do any of that shit. And I want people to remember that. I want Americans to remember that because it's important. So that you don't get snagged up by all this bullshit again a second time. Because that Mpox is simmering back there, boys and girls. They're waiting for a chance to try to spring it on you. They're going to try to spring it on you. Oh my God, we're all going to fucking die. You know, no, don't buy it. Don't buy it. We didn't do any of that shit under H1N1. And it really was killing Americans. It really was contagious. It really was a dangerous virus. Unlike COVID, which basically gave you a loss of taste for a day or two, and then you're back on your feet the next day. At the absolute most. The absolute worst I heard about COVID was somebody got the chills and was bedridden. That's the worst. They didn't die. I didn't hear of anybody dying, not under COVID. Now the vaccine, well, well, that's a different story. But under COVID itself, I didn't hear of anybody die. It wasn't no more worse than the normal flu that people get. So what's going on with that, Alfie? Well, fear porn. Fear porn. We got to give you the fear porn, man. We got to suck it to you with that fear porn. We got to scare the piss out of you. Because that's what we got to do. Because we can't make no money for big pharma if we don't scare the piss out of you. So we got to scare the piss out of you. Ooh. Scary COVID. I lost my sense of taste. According to my friend John, I lost my sense of taste for a couple of days, and then I was fine. Oh, that's so scary, right? And in fact, I think John lost a job or two, didn't he? If I remember correctly, I think he said he lost his job because of COVID. Because they locked us in our homes, remember? And so he lost his job. If you can't beat them with the facts, baffle them with bullshit, right? I mean, that's basically what it is it not? Yeah, certainly. That's absolutely what it is. But I want every American to remember H1N1 under Obama, because we didn't do any of those things that we did under COVID. Under Trump. It's important to remember that, boys and girls. Because Mpox is out there and it's simmering in the background, waiting for the media and the elites to spring it on us as the next, it's the next global pandemic. You know, I love how these people are able to accurately predict pandemics better than I can, and I'm a damn sorcerer, but yet I can't accurately predict pandemics as good as Fauci and Gates can. And speaking of Bill Gates, I'm still waiting for a member of the Trump administration to mention the name Bill Gates. Why is that? Why won't they mention the name Bill Gates? Anybody know? Anybody got any idea? Anybody got a clue? Could it be because Bill Gates was at Epstein Island when Trump was there and saw things? Could that be it? Could it be that Bill Gates maybe has something over on Trump, and that's why Trump and his team will never mention the name Bill Gates ever? Never, ever. Did you notice that? It's like, oh God, Vonhelton's right again. Vonhelton was right, number 117, 18, whatever it is right now. But yeah, I mean, seriously, think back a minute. Anybody on Trump's team mentioned Bill Gates? Not one soul. Not one soul. Now, prior to joining Trump's administration, maybe they did mention Bill Gates, but I can't remember them mentioning it even then. You know, Robert Kennedy, for example. You know, Robert Kennedy's all time talking about vaccines, but has he ever mentioned Bill Gates by name? I don't think so. I'm trying to remember, you know, the old cobwebs of the brain there, trying to remember it. I realize it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, 3:17 now. And I'm, you know, but yeah, I don't remember. Do you? Can you find me a video of Kennedy even mentioning Bill Gates by name? Because I can't find it. I can't find any of the Trump administration mentioning Bill Gates by name. Isn't that odd? Especially when it's Bill Gates that's the one sitting there saying that with new vaccines, we can decrease the population of Earth by 10 to 15%. Let's watch that video again, boys and girls, because it bears watching again.
Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's fact.
99% recovery rate on COVID. Did you know that? Oh, Vaughn, you're talking shit. Okay, let's find out. We'll do this in real time, folks. We'll pull a Bill O'Reilly and do this live. Bill Gates buys farmland? Question mark. The tech billionaire has quietly bought up to 242,000 acres of farmland in 18 states and 268,984 of multi-use land in 19 states in total, making him the biggest agricultural landowner in the United States, though far short of the biggest overall landowner in the country. And let's take a look at that, shall we? Let us do that. Let's take a look-see, because we're good like that. We are good like that. Whoops, there it is. Whoop, 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 whoop. There it is. Let's blow it up so we can see it all nice and pretty like. Yes, indeedy. There we go. And I got a big honking video in the way. There we go. All right. So the green stuff is where he's buying shit. The tech billionaire has quietly bought up 242,000 acres of farmland in 18 states, which is what I just read you. Okay, so that's the thing I just read you. I guess he circles as all the plots of land that he's bought or thinking about buying. In 2018, a Louisiana investor, later revealed to be Gates, paid $171 million for a large swath of farmland in the Horseheaven Hill, making it one of the largest real estate transactions in recent memory. Well, ain't that just ducky? In 2014, Gates reportedly purchased more than 4,500 acres in Suwannee County, Florida, for nearly $28 million. It is unclear why Gates, better known as a self-confessed computing nerd, has invested in farmland so heavily, and details of the land are scarce, as revealed in the land report. Okay, so he's not reporting what he's doing with this land, according to the land report. Clickable link right there. The acquisitions are held directly, as well as through Gates's personal investment entity, Cascade Investments. Cascade Investments. Don't forget that name, folks. That's Bill Gates under another name, under Cascade Investments. Did you know? How many of you knew that before now? Yeah, none of you. Put your hand down. Okay, so now you know Cascade Investments is Bill Gates. So if somebody comes and says they want to buy your property and they represent Cascade Investments, tell them no. Tell them no. In 1994, Bill and Melinda Gates are said to have hired Michael Larson to help them diversify their property portfolio. A 2014 Wall Street Journal profile of Larson, Cascade's chief investment officer, hinted at the beginning of that portfolio after the piece noted that the firm owns at least 100,000 acres of farmland in California, Illinois, Iowa, Louisiana, and other states, or an area 7 times bigger than Manhattan. In 6 years, that number has more than doubled. In 2014, he reportedly purchased more than 4,500 acres in Suwannee County, Florida, for nearly $28 million. In 2018, Gates reportedly bought 16,000 acres in his home state of Washington, including a 14,500 acre tract in the Horseheaven Hills region that was purchased for nearly $171 million from an insurance company that had paid $75 million for it in 2010. It was the highest priced land sale in the U.S. that year. So why is he buying this land? Well, we know now, don't we? Because he's going to have crops for him and his elite buddies that don't have mRNA technology in it, that don't have GMO in it, and they will live and you will die. The Clade 1 Mpox monkey of mRNA technology will not mention Bill Gates' name at all. And yet I just showed you a video where Bill Gates, all these motherfuckers that want you dead. Because the earth is so overpopulated, you see. Elon Musk sent me, well, he sent it to everybody, I guess, technically, but I got a copy of a link to a website where his own bean counters actually checked out this theory of overpopulation. You know what they found out? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? For those of you that haven't already heard this, are you sitting down for this? All 7.7 billion of us, all 7.7 billion, can fit in the smallest country in Africa called Gambia. But it gets even better because it isn't even the whole country. We're just the very tip of a tiny little country called Gambia in the middle of Africa, the middle of nowhere, Africa. And we're not even taking up the whole country. We're taking up just a little tip of the country. All 7.7 billion of us. And that's with room, that's with plenty of room to walk around and, have something, It ain't like you're squeezed into a little 1-by-1 cubicle or something. You got room to maybe even put a tiny house or something, and have, plenty of room to walk around. So is the earth overpopulated? No. That was the whole point of Elon Musk getting all these bean counters together to see if this stuff was true, because it's not true. It's just not true. They lied. And when Elon Musk found out that they lied, I got to give Elon Musk credit for this one. When he found out that they lied, he went to the WEF and he confronted them openly about it. Said, y'all lied about this globalist shit. Lied about it. The earth is not overpopulated. He had the best and brightest. Check this out. We're not overpopulated. The earth is not overpopulated by any stretch of the imagination. The earth can easily sustain 100 billion people, no sweat. And we're nowhere near that. We're only 7.7 billion. And even by Gates' own estimates, we might get to 8 or 9 sometime in a decade. All right. So, there's no way. And that's before we haven't even tried to colonize the oceans yet. If we were so overpopulated, if everybody was so worried about overpopulation, why did we start colonizing the oceans? Good point, huh? Anybody remember C-Lab? Anybody old enough to remember C-Lab from the 1950s? I do. I saw the reruns on TV, the black and white reruns. I was born in 1963. And so they'd plop me down in the TV, and I'm sitting there watching black and white TV shows on the TV. And one of those was C-Lab. All right. And then, of course, there was 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and, a bunch of others that were in black and white. And it was all about the, the sea and living in the ocean. Of course, now Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was about a super secret government submarine and all the exploits and escapades that it went through. But it was all about underwater stuff and about living underwater, having societies and whole cities underwater. And, so if the earth really was overpopulated like they claim, why wasn't there more research and development into living underwater, living in the ocean and colonizing the oceans? Because we're not overpopulated. The whole point of being overpopulated was to decrease the population of Earth. They can't control 7.7 billion people. It's too many. So they got to get you down to 500 million, like it said on Georgia Guidestones, before they blew Guidestones to hell. Boom. That was a great video, man. That was a great video, watching that thing go up. Because it's sick, man. It's sick. We're gonna kill 7 billion people on this earth just to save 0.7. And of course, that 0.7 will be completely and totally subjugated. Pardonnez-moi, monsieur. So, there's that. But that's how it is. So, I mean, if we really was overpopulated, though, why wasn't there any talk about, colonizing the oceans? There was a little bit of talk about colonizing Mars, but there's no talk about colonizing the oceans. I mean, the oceans are right here. We don't have to go billions of light years away. We can go right here, colonize the oceans, and everything will be just ducky. Why didn't we? Good question, isn't it? And that idea, that concept has literally been around since 1940. But yet we're not talking about it. Why is that? Because the earth isn't overpopulated. It's a lie. Just like everything else is a lie. Everything you believe is a lie. Let's go take a look at what Mr. Casey said again. We'll know our disinformation program is a lie. Everything is a lie. Religion, science, art, society, money, it's all lies. Every bit of it's lies. And his men are like, well, what do we do? Now, remember, these men were Christian. It's like, well, what do we do? He says, we're going to have to start all over again. Start all over again. Because everything you believe is a lie, literally. Literally. None of this shit is real, not especially your religion. All 3 monotheistic religions come straight out of Rome. They're not real. Sorry. I know that's a real gut punch for a lot of people. And I don't hate Protestants. I have a few problems with Catholics because they try to put a man up as God, which, no, that's not good. Or the mouthpiece of God, at least. That's not good. I don't like that. I also don't like the worship of Mary. I think that's bad. We don't worship Mary. Yes, you do. You got a prayer in her name. Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. You got an actual prayer to a woman that is not a deity. Okay? In many people's minds, that would be blasphemy, guys. Come on. So yeah. I have a problem with the Catholic Church, obviously. But everything's a lie anyway. It doesn't matter. It's all lies. It's all lies. It's all bullshit. And so we have to cut through the bullshit. This is why I reached out to the universe. I said, is there anybody up there that actually gives a shit about us? Now, thankfully, someone responded. I'm one of the few people you are talking to and looking at, one of the few people that's had an actual visitation from a being of light. Christians would call it an angel. You're talking to one of the few people that's actually had that happen. I've had that happen to me. And it was a very humbling experience, believe me. And unlike Father Abraham or Muhammad, I didn't get told how great I was. I didn't get told that I'll be the father of many nations and that I'll be able to do, great exploits and all this crap. They gave me one message and one message only. You have a great and glorious future that'll benefit all of mankind. And then they're gone. That was it. That was the message I got. None of this big, you're great, you're so great, you're so, who does that? Who is full of envy and pride? God or the devil? Come on, Christians. Wake up. I know it's 3:53 in the morning. So yeah. So if somebody comes to you posing as an angel of light and starts telling you how great you are, starts talking about envious things, is that of God? No. No. Beware
Hold up.
of anything posing as an angel of light.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Isn't Von's whole claim to fame is that he was visited by a light being, an angel of light, that picked him up by his chin and said you had a great and glorious future? Is it? Am I the one that's crazy, folks? I know I've been staring in the shit abyss forever, but I'm pretty sure that's Von's whole story. That's his whole thing. Huh. Isn't that interesting?
That does not edify the gods first, then you. Because that's just the way, that's how they roll, right? And so be very, very careful of that. That is 56 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here and went. But I just wanted to let you know that good old Mpox is out there simmering. And I guess they're waiting for the right moment to spring it on you. Say, oh my gosh, we're all going to fucking die. Oh my gosh. Just keep in mind, though, folks, that all the people that got it here in the States, they all recovered. The only people that are dying from this are people that have pre-existing condition or their poor living conditions. They're the only ones dying. If you
They're the only ones dying, folks, just like Von. He just, again, the irony, he literally described himself. Pre-existing conditions, living in poor health conditions. Folks, tell me I'm not the one that's crazy. Anyways, yeah, I kind of walked away at the beginning of this and came in and he was talking all this crazy medical stuff, so hopefully we don't get a strike. Hopefully we'll see you next week and do some streams in between. Maybe we'll see what's going on. We got to see what's growing in the other gardens and get caught up with all the other cows. Von's, I mean, the lull supply the last couple weeks, admittedly, I mean, it's giving us sustenance, but it's just not, it's not to the standard that I think we're all accustomed to. So I'm sure there'll be a full moon or something coming up and things will get exciting, a little spicy. So, but I think this is where we're going to leave it. I think, we've heard enough from this gentleman for this evening. Folks, I don't want you to get Lul's madness, Lul's overdose. So, on subpar milk, It's one thing when you're gorging on the good stuff, but this is, it is what it is. But folks, thanks for joining me. Thumbs it up, all that good stuff. And I don't really have anything else to say, so thanks for coming out. And